Hi everyone and welcome, this is Hado and we are playing Deus Ex Human Revolution. This is going to be a ghost walkthrough. That means that we are not going to be seen in any of the levels, and we are basically not going to raise any alerts. Though we will be knocking out enemies, we will be using the non-lethal option to knock out enemies and hide the bodies, because if another enemy sees a knocked out enemy on the ground, it will raise an alert and will fail the ghost walkthrough. Now, the ghost word itself will appear at the end of sequences in-game, because it is an experience bonus, since this game is an action RPG from Square Enix, and that experience will allow us to choose between augmentations, that is this game's version of skills. But since this walkthrough will be a no upgrades walkthrough, I will not upgrade any of the augmentations, and I will be going through the entire game without any upgrades. That includes health, energy, that is a little bar that is shaped like a little battery, that you will see in the next chapter, because this is the intro of the game only, and we will have a couple of scenes with stealth here, but we will not have the main. This is not even the first main mission of the game. By the way, we will only be going through main missions. There are a lot of side quests in this game that you can do. Excuse me, but we will not be doing any of those. We will be doing only main missions. We will be fighting bosses with the lethal takedowns. That means that we will be killing the bosses, but we will not be using any firearms to kill them. I will be using curious ways to kill them. You'll check them out as we get to them. I think the next chapter already has one boss. No, excuse me. Yeah, the fourth chapter will have the first boss. So, as we follow Megan through this entire place, I will be explaining the hardest difficulty of this game, which is called Me Deus Ex. This game only has 3 difficulties. It is basically easy, normal and hard, although they are named different. The hardest is Me Deus Ex, it's just called like that. And I will be explaining what's the difference straight from the strategy guide, guys. So basically, the amount of health pool that will be displayed in the game is 100 points. But within that 100 points, we are only going to get 75% of the amount of health that we could be getting. In the first difficulty, in the easiest difficulty, that is called Tell Me a Story, we have 150% of health. And in this difficulty we only have 75%, so that's the main difference of that. Now, we always reach the health slowly, and the region delay, not the delay, excuse me, the region of our health bar is going to be at 85%. That's going to be slower, and it will not reach all the way. It will only reach at 85%. Now, the amount of tick of the region, I call it tick of the speed, I mean, the player health region delay is going to be 115%. That means that it's going to reach very, very slowly, guys. So we cannot actually take damage, a lot of damage in this walkthrough, because we will die. We cannot take any sort of damage in this game because we die instantly. The difficulty is just we get 2 or 3 hits and we just die. So, but it's interesting information nonetheless. The energy, now we'll be talking about the energy. The energy region is going to be 75%. That means that since I will not be upgrading anything, we will only have 2 energy bars, and that means that with each energy bar I can only knock out 1 enemy, so we can knock out 2 enemies. But since I can only regain some energy by eating a protein bar or something like that, that is an item, The energy regen means that the first bar of those two that I mentioned is always going to regen alone. So that means that the regen ticks at 75% speed, which is also slow. Now the delay for that first bar to start regenerating is 125%. So that's really high. That means that I will not even be able to knock out more than 2 enemies, because it's almost 2 minutes of a delay to regen the entire bar, and I cannot do it until the entire bar is regened entirely. So now the enemy accuracy is 125%. That means that whenever we got shot, they will actually hit us, and most likely in the head. So we really can't get damage in here, because as I mentioned, we die instantly, almost instantly. Now the enemy health, that includes bosses, is boosted by 125%. That means that even though we are not going to be killing normal enemies, we are going to be killing bosses, so that's going to be somewhat of a trouble later in the game. Now, I already named everything that is important, but starting a playthrough on Give Me Deus Ex difficulty also disables object highlighting. That is basically like a highlight around an object, a yellow highlight around objects. That's not going to appear. So and the crosshairs are gone. We are not going to be having a crosshair. So that's two things that can be a little bothering, but not really difficult. So getting back in the video, we're going to be stealthing our first section here. Oh, by the way guys, there are a lot of things that I'm going to do off screen that are basically going to be reaching a certain place to trigger the next mission. Now those are not, I am not going to record. But since I'm not recording those parts, I will not be grabbing any items through those parts. So the next part that you see me doing a mission, I will have the very same items that I had before. Now as you can see here, there were just 2 enemies. I'm going to be manipulating the AI a lot, and you will see that mostly in the next chapter, because in this one it's just like a tutorial. So as you can see here, we're going to wait until these guys kinda give me their backs. There are 2 guys, one here and one in the back. But as soon as this one kinda turns away from me, I'm just going to sneak through. You're not gonna see any knockouts here. I'm not gonna be knocking out and hiding bodies in this mission, because this is really easy. But you will see them a lot in the rest of the main missions. Now this is the first checkpoint, and I will be quick saving it. That was a quick save. I will be only allowed myself to quick save on checkpoints, so I can go through a whole sequence without quick saving in the middle, because that will be kind of cheating. But I will nonetheless quick save it at the checkpoint, because the checkpoint only it rewrites itself, so it doesn't really works for me, because I can maybe get through a place and be seen and just trigger a checkpoint. See, there's another checkpoint there, but I just didn't quick save it there. So this is the 3rd area. As you see before, we threw a fire extinguisher to get the enemies the way that we want them to be and to get through it. So this part is almost the only way that I found that I can go past the enemies without being seen is this one. Just rush the entrance, get behind this flower, this plant pot, I guess it is a plant pot, and just wait until this guy gets past us. Once he gets past us, we can proceed. And that was the last sort of encounter. We're going to trigger the beginning of a video here, and I'm going to say goodbye until the next chapter, guys. This was Deus Ex Human Revolution Ghost walkthrough. The explanation of what Ghost is going to always be in the description. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and take care.
Shows the bullet caused severe hematoma. We need to repair that artery.
My God, how thick was the glass? Come on in. Stay with us.
ERCC-1 crack.
Steady.
He doesn't need that.
What's that cyber arm prosthesis?
I love you.
Haven't you lost enough people today?
I'm sorry.